everybody, and welcome back to another edition of CalCo Community Chat. I'm your host, Jamie Joe, with the Calhoun County Community Foundation, and this is our back to school episode. I cannot believe that summer is already almost over and the kiddos are going to be headed back to school. I know some of you parents are probably ready and teachers are probably not as excited, but school's about to start back, and we're going to go over a lot of important information that you guys need to know before the start of this school year. But first, as always, I have a few announcements to make. First, beginning with some Community Foundation before I get to the Community Foundation news, we want to say congratulations to the Calhoun County Dixie Youth 12U team. They just represented Calhoun County this past week at the World Series in South Carolina, I believe. It may have been North Carolina, but they did such a great job, and we are so proud of them. Their journey ended there at the World Series yesterday, and they are going to be headed home to get ready for next year. But several of these guys are going on to middle school and ball, and so we're proud of them and just wanted to say congratulations, guys. We're proud how y'all represented Calhoun County. Now for some Community Foundation news. Real quick, I know it's a couple months away, and I always try to give you guys plenty of heads up, but we are getting ready already for Florida River Fest. And one of the things that we are adding this year is the Catfish Cook-Off. So on Friday night, we're going to be hosting a Catfish Cook-Off down at the River Landing. Tickets will be on sale. It's a ticketed event. But for your ticket, you get a full catfish dinner with sides. You get to sample up to 10 of our competitors' catfish recipes. You get a beverage, you get some live entertainment. So those tickets will go on sale soon. We're going to be talking more about that in the coming months. But I am reaching out now to see if you have a delicious catfish recipe that you want to showcase or you want to compete with. We want to hear from you. So you can reach out to the Community Foundation. You can send us an email, reach out through some of our social media channels. I know a lot of you, there's several families that I know that have some secret catfish recipes. And if you want to cook and compete, you get a chance to win $500 cash. So we're going to have 10 competitors. It can be businesses or individuals. It can be teams. And you're going to cook. We're going to get your samples and let you feed the people there that night. And then they get to vote on their favorite catfish meal. Or catfish sample. So anyway, if you have a catfish recipe you would like to showcase and you want to compete for $500 cash, reach out to us. So we're going to be seeing how much interest we have. And if so, we're going to go forward with the Catfish Cook-Off. Also, if you're a musician, a local musician that would like to entertain that night on the big stage, let us know. Reach out, send us an audition tape, some videos, some footage of you, and we will get back to you as soon as possible and let you know if you've been selected to perform at the Catfish Cook-Off. All right. Now, I think that's all I have to say about the Community Foundation right now. We're going to go on into our conversation tonight, and we're going to bring on Mr. Bobby Sims, or Investigator Sims, I should say, with the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department. Hello, Mr. Sims.
Hey, everybody.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, Bobby's here tonight to talk to us about the Back to School Bash that's taking place tomorrow, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Tomorrow.
Tell me a little bit about who's hosting it, and what people need to know about it.
Okay. So Back to School Bash is going to take place tomorrow from 4 to 7. It's going to be at the W.T. Neal Civic Center. If you're not familiar where that's at, the address is posted right up there. And the hosts of it is kind of a collaboration between several different agencies. Obviously, the Sheriff's Office, NWF Health Network, Calhoun County School Board, the Children's Coalition, CARE, and the United Way. We've all been working together on this project to kind of bring back what was formerly known as the Family Affair. If anybody in Calhoun County was familiar with that, it was, pre-Hurricane Michael, pre-COVID. It was an event hosted by the Children's Coalition that would provide back to school items for kids going, when school started back. So kind of the idea behind this was there's a lot of needs in Calhoun County for, anywhere from substance use disorders or mental health or financial things or anything else that you can kind of think of. And there are so many different resources out there. So we kind of did a twofold on this. There's going to be so many vendors there that can provide free services to members of Calhoun County that you might not be aware of. And it's going to be a great place for you to come and learn about these people. And also pick up these, free school supplies and let your kids have a ball with bouncy houses, popcorn, cotton candy, snow cones. If the weather's permitting, we may even drop some stuff from a helicopter.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Well, before we go into the activities and events that are going to be there, because this sounds amazing, is there a registration that's required? Is this for all ages, Calhoun County residents only? Can you elaborate a little bit on if it's free to the public?
Yeah, so this is 100% free. There is nothing there you'll have to pay for. Some things may be limited quantity, just based off of the supplies we have. But you won't have to pay for anything. It is mainly for Calhoun County students in any grade level. The giveaway items for the school supplies are grade specific, from pre-K through 12th grade. If any member of the public wants to come out and enjoy these vendors and resources, they're more than welcome to get the items. We're encouraging that you have your kid here at the event, and that need to be in the Calhoun County schools.
Do you need any volunteers for the event still? Are you fully staffed, or do you need extra hands that can come out tomorrow and assist?
I imagine that we would not turn away anyone wanting to volunteer, because just based off of prior knowledge from the family affair events and things like that, it's probably going to be a good turnout. And we're not going to turn away extra hands that might want to help out somewhere.
Awesome. You guys heard that. If you are able and willing to help tomorrow night, that is at the W.T. Neal Civic Center, which is located on Pear Street in Blountstown from 4 to 7 p.m. Central. And I know you mentioned briefly there when you were talking about all the fun activities, there's not only going to be resources inside, but there may be bouncy houses, and I heard shaved ice or snow cones and some things like that. I also heard online there's going to be free haircuts.
Yeah. So a big shout out to Merle Norman. They're going to provide about 36 haircuts. I mean, just depending on how soon and how quick they can get them done. So it is limited. It is going to be a first come, first serve. But yeah, just if your kid needs a trim up, before school, it'd be a great place to come get that.
Awesome. Well, this sounds like a great event. Now, if they have any questions about the event, is this the correct? They can call the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office and ask for you, Investigator Bobby Sims, and you'll be able to give them some more information, correct?
That's correct. And I'll give you another person and their phone number that may be able to help, because during the day tomorrow I might not be in my office, but let me give you this name. And this is with Kelsey Davis with NWF Health Network. And she's been a major player in getting us all organized and set up. And her phone number is 850-596-0353.
All right. I got that on the screen for y'all too. You can screenshot this, save this. Obviously, this live will be up for replay after tonight is over with. You guys can reach out to Kelsey Davis there with Northwest Florida Health Network. Is that what you said?
Yeah. NWF Health Network.
Okay. They can give you some more information about the back to school bash that's happening tomorrow night. This is a great resource for Calhoun County, guys. Like, this is incredible. All the vendors, all the donors, sponsors, participants. Thank y'all so much for putting this together for the students. And if you need any sort of assistance, or just, feel free to go out there tomorrow. It's all free, and bring your student with you and let them enjoy the activities and get excited for going back to school. I know summertime's over, but it'll be an exciting way to start the new year. So, well, thank you so much for being here, Bobby. Let me see if we have any questions real quick before I let you go. Let's see. Oh, Michaela says, sounds like a fun night for the kiddos. Does anybody have any questions that are watching right now? Do you have any questions? Just type in the comments for Investigator Sims here that he could answer on the spot. We'll give y'all just a second on that.
One of the bigger ones is probably going to be weather. So again, weather permitting, we'll have the bouncy houses outside. It's going to be like a bigger obstacle course for, elementary and older. And then like younger kids, there's going to be another bouncy house for them as well. But again, that's weather permitting. The bouncy house people are on standby. They know, if we're looking at bad weather, they may have to postpone the bouncy house, but we're going to do what we can to still have fun.
That's right. Well, we'll make it work somehow. All right. I don't see any other questions right now. So thank you, Bobby, for being here. I appreciate it. And you guys go see Mr. Sims tomorrow night at the Civic Center from 4 to 7. Thanks, Bobby. All right, guys. Now, before I bring on Mr. Taylor, so we have Mr. Darryl Taylor Jr. with us tonight. the Calhoun County Superintendent of Schools, and he's going to go through a plethora of information that you guys need to know and some exciting things that he wants to let the public know that happened this past school year. But before we do have a couple more announcements. So all of these graphics that I'm sharing tonight too, we will have following the live on our Facebook page. So you can find those over there, download them, save. And most of them are also posted on the Calhoun County School District Facebook page as well. But I wanted to post this. This is the vacation planning holiday date. So feel free to screenshot this. Again, it'll be on our Facebook page after the live, but this lets you know all of the information for when there's going to be holidays this year. Also, get to know your SROs. This year, these are your SROs for Calhoun County. So Mr. Keith Baber will be at Alpha, Jedediah Danley at Carr, Warren Tanner at BHS, Mr. Jody Bailey at BES, and Duncan and Deputy Chambliss at all the schools. They're going to be making the round, so be on the lookout for Duncan there. He's so cute. But these are all of our SROs for this year. So you can save this. Again, it'll be on our social media. And one more. We've got a message here from Miss Greta with the school buses. So Miss Greta says, I'm looking forward to another exciting school year in Calhoun County. Our bus crew is ready and excited to see everyone. As always, please be patient with us the first few days and weeks as we work out any kinks with our new or changing bus routes. Parents, please talk to your children about bus safety and the importance of listening to the bus drivers at all times. Students, please help us by looking out for each other and being kind. And everyone, please look out for the big yellow buses. If a bus is stopped, you stop. I know this is a constant ongoing problem, so y'all please look out for those big yellow buses. If you see one of those stop signs out, please make sure you stop. We are carrying the most precious cargo and want to make sure everyone gets to and from school safely. If anyone has any questions or issues regarding buses, please contact me. See you soon, Miss Greta. So that's for Miss Greta over with the school buses. All right, let's see here. Again, all of these graphics are going to be on our social media following the live tonight. I don't think I have anything else. So we're going to bring on the big man himself, Mr. Darryl Taylor, Jr., Calhoun County Superintendent of Schools. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
How about yourself?
You're doing great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know you're super busy getting ready to get started again.
Something big is about to happen, but thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go over lots of talking points here. So first, I know you have some exciting and important news to share about last year's school year. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the grading of schools is something that if you're in the school business, you really are anxious to see how things come out each and every year. And Calhoun County has been very fortunate the last 2 years. We've earned the A rating in the last 2 years consecutively. And we're seeing a little bit of momentum going in a good direction. We're proud of all of our students, families, teachers, administrators, everyone that's got a hand in this in trying to put together a school year. You know, the saying is it takes a village to raise a child. It absolutely takes a village to educate one too. There's a lot of moving parts in that. But just to give you some statistics, those that like to see numbers and see how things come out. So when you're looking at the state of Florida, the 67 counties that are in the state that have public school systems that get graded, and we want to see where we fall out in comparison to these other districts. So Calhoun County's got a really strong history of performing very well, and we certainly want to continue that. And we have very dedicated people that work very hard to try to ensure that does take place. This past year, the 25 testing season, when you look at all 67 counties across the state, Calhoun County tied for 10th place, counting all subtests, all grades. When you're looking at total cumulative points that go towards developing that school grade, Calhoun County tied for 10th in the state of Florida. That is remarkable. We're extremely proud for that number. So let's break it on down. Let's look at some more specific numbers. And I'm going to go through quite a few grades. Some of this will be in the course exams. Some of this will actually be testing that's done by our grade students on PM 1, 2, and 3, our PM 3 results. But when you look at civics, Calhoun County tied for 5th in the state on civics. Third grade ELA, Calhoun County tied for 5th in the state on that particular test. 4th grade ELA, Calhoun County ties for 7th in the state. 6th grade ELA, Calhoun County tied for 9th in the state. 6th grade math, percent 3 and above, tied for 14th out of 67 in the state. 7th grade math, percent 3 or above, Calhoun County ties for 6th in the state. 8th grade science, percent 3 or above, Calhoun County ties for 11th in the state. Biology, percent 3 or above, Calhoun County ties for 13th in the state. For a small rural district in the Panhandle, we are extremely proud. That's competing not just against schools and districts that are the size of ours. That's the entire state. It matters not what the category of the school or the district is or how many students, teachers, or schools that they have. So we are extremely proud for the results that have been generated this past year. And I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share that information.
Yeah, that is absolutely incredible. And again, if y'all are just coming in or you didn't hear all of that, to be in those top categories for out of 67 counties in the state, for rural Calhoun County to be tied in the top 5, the top 10, the top 20 across the board, that is absolutely amazing. So congratulations to the school district, to the teachers and the students and the families that are helping support this. So that is really great. So kudos to the school district on that. And I'm glad you were able to share it as well. Now, is there a theme going into the new school year?
There is. And let me say one last thing in with respect to how our schools scored and so forth. The success that you see by those grades translates to student success. That's not just a number or a letter grade or a percent ranking that we look at. This is actual names and faces and bodies and people that we know. So when we see these numbers, it translates to success for students. It opens a door, an opportunity for them at a college level or an entry into employment. It's just the highest honor you can have whenever you see your students perform well. And I'll say this as well. I spent the majority of my years on a school campus. And a lot of the things that take place during the course of a year that add to the success of a school is not necessarily something that's graded by a test that's given by the state of Florida. It's things that you see, human things from love that are done by staff, fellow students, things that take place on a school campus. They're not graded or tested, but they absolutely add to the success for individual students, colleagues, and the community. And those things, I'm very proud of those as well. And, you know, whenever you have a kid or kids that have maybe finished school and gone on, maybe they went to the military, they've gone into business, or they're in college, or whatever it is that they're doing. But when you cross paths with those kids later in life, and they're adults at that point in time, and they come back and they smile, they don't turn their head and go the other way when you meet them on the grocery store aisle. They come to you, and they come back to school. Maybe they're in the military and they have that uniform on and they're proud of that uniform. But when they come back to that school site to visit, you know there was a connection that was made there, that they felt validated and important. And that's not something that's measured on a test, but that is something that absolutely takes place in our schools on a daily basis. And I can tell you that from experience. So now I just wanted to get that little plug in there as well. Now, you ask about a theme. Yes, ma'am, we have a theme for this year. Now, our school district has, and I'm going to hold this up here where maybe you can see that, the tree of knowledge is one of our emblems. So we kind of looked at how can we incorporate, a tree. It's not like a fighting lion or something like that. It's a tree, but the tree of knowledge. But a tree has roots, it's got a trunk, and it's got limbs and leaves. If you do nothing with the tree will not flourish. But if you tend that, if you put fertilizer and you tend the soil around it, water that tree, and if you do those kinds of things, prune the things off of the tree that need to be pruned off, that tree will flourish and it will grow. Calhoun County School District, we have had a few disruptions in our area from the hurricane through COVID, but we've worked hard in conjunction with our schools and families to try to get back on the horse. And we've got some momentum that's going in a very good direction. So our theme for the year is keep going and keep growing. So we want next year the tree to be so big that you can't even tell what kind of document that this is, that it's on there, because the tree has grown and flourished so much. We want to keep going and keep growing.
Keep growing. All right, let's see here. I'm putting this on the screen for us here. Keep going and keep growing. You
That's
guys
right.
heard it here first. That's the theme for the Calhoun County School District for this year. So parents, take it to heart. When anything happens, whether it be at home or at school, if you need to meet with a teacher or the district, this is the theme this year. Keep going and keep growing. They're going to encourage you to do just this right here. So that is an awesome theme. I think that's great, and it makes a lot of sense. So if there's one thing, like you said, if there's one thing that Calhoun County can do, it's overcome some obstacles. So I know that this is a perfect theme for Calhoun County School District. Now, moving on from the theme, so we're getting into some more serious stuff here, and I know nobody likes to talk about it, but attendance. Absolutely. It is very important that you attend school when you can, as often as you can, every day. And so tell us a little bit about your attendance policies and some things that often come up.
So we do want to stress attendance. You know, a lot of the things that we do, you know, are academically geared, but they're also preparatory for life and how to make it in the workforce and in this world. And establishing a good attendance record for yourself is absolute. It will never hurt you in anything you do. If you're punctual and you're a regular attender, it matters not what it is, it will benefit you in the long run. So our attendance policy, parents can excuse 3 absences in a 9 weeks. We do track attendance to see where our students fall. And there is a direct correlation between student success and how their performance is and attendance. I can tell you this, and we absolutely learned this in the pandemic. It is in the best interest of kids to be in that class with students of the same age, studying the same material, with a certified person there that can help provide instruction and help be there on a consistent basis to help reinforce what needs to be reinforced and be part of the instructional process. And that means listening to your classmates and things they might have a question about and an explanation that helps clear something up for you. We can give makeup work when people are absent, but missed instruction, we can't duplicate that. So our goal is, and our hope is, that everybody be at school every day that they can. Now, there are times, and I know it takes place over the course of a year, there's a lot of the flu goes around or a stomach bug or some kind of something happens. But if you're only missing the days that are necessary because of sickness, or maybe there's a family situation that requires a person to be absent, if you're only missing those days, then it's not that big of a deal whenever you're out. It's where we have people that miss excessively that it affects their instruction and their ability to perform. So our conversations and efforts will be to try to promote that. Year before last, we did a series of videos that we actually have those archived. They're available through YouTube. Calhoun County School District attendance messages, I believe, is how it's actually titled. If you'll type that in, you can see those. It's got multitude of perspectives from employment, teachers, myself, parents, students. There's a lot of perspectives that are voiced there. Very short videos, just give you 3 or 4 minutes on each one of the clips, but just something that reinforces the importance of that.
Well, along with attendance, I mean, obviously, you know, we have students that are old enough when they get into high school, they can drive and get themselves to and from school quite often. But the younger ones, it falls on the parents a lot of times. So we're going to move into something else that's important, and that's parental involvement. Not only just with trying to help support your students and get them to school on time and daily, but some other things that parents may need to be involved in ways that they can be involved as well, like through Parent Square. So before we talk about Parent Square, let's just go into a little bit of parental involvement.
I would agree with what you were talking about. It does require everyone doing their part. We can't do it alone. We need the help of our parents. And a parent is a child's first teacher. They have them at home, and those early years are formative, and they do make a difference, a huge difference. So parents, I would encourage you, be invested in your child's education. Be positive about it. They're going to reflect the attitude and disposition that adults have. And it is important to be engaged, and your children, what they see you as marking as important, then they're going to place a greater emphasis on it as well. Establish routines, establish homework times, establish patterns, bedtime. Put the cell phone up and go to sleep at a certain time. Get a good night's rest. Mm-hmm. Be involved with your children. Ask them about their day. When they're younger, they're going to want to tell you more about it and share things about it, and the good, the bad. As they get older, they're not going to want to talk to you about it as much. They're kind of going to want to avoid that subject maybe. But I encourage people to be involved in the educational process of their children. Be positive about it. It's not you don't have to go to school, it's you get to go to school. But look at it from a perspective and have conversation about that promotes that with your children. And it helps shape their disposition and attitude toward that, which ultimately is going to make them be more successful. So we want parents to take every opportunity, be engaged with our child's teacher, their school. There's a Parent Square will be self-explanatory. If you're on Parent Square, you will know what Parent Square is.
I'll say if you're on Parent Square, you will get notifications if an announcement needs to go out. There's all sorts of information on there for you. I'm pretty sure I may be incorrect. You can correct me here. Maybe do first-time students. Does it go to like kindergarten students as well? So maybe
it goes to everyone involved, and at the beginning of school, they'll be setting that up and opportunities for everyone to get involved. And it's just an extremely easy, quick means to communicate with everyone. When we look at our metrics on that, we're 98, 99% accurate on those numbers. And parents are good about helping keeping us caught up on that. So, if we have school closures for snow days like we had this past winter, everybody wants to get that message. We're going to be out for the day or whatever. So
even other emergencies that you need to alert parents that the school, God forbid, is on lockdown or something's happening.
Yes.
You need to get those alert messages out. And that's going to be the quickest way, because everybody has one of these in their hand 9 times out of 10. And you can get that text that says, alert, know this. You can even, I always joke with my nephews. So I don't have children in the Calhoun County School District, but I do have nephews. And I always joke when they send out the alert about report cards were sent home today, because back in my day, we got lucky. You poor kids, I'm sorry, but they alert parents. They alert you that progress reports and report cards all went out, so you can, again, stay on top of those students and be involved in their education and find out what you need to know. You can communicate with teachers and administrators. So Parent Square is very important. And you also, another way to be involved is open house. Now, I failed to mention this a little bit earlier, but open house is on August the 7th. And so everyone's encouraged to attend Alpha from 5 to 7 p.m., Bluntstown Elementary from 4 to 6, BHS 5 to 7, and Car School 4 to 6 as well. So parents, be sure, go out, meet the teachers, meet some of the admin, get any information that you need to know before the school starts, get those jitters out for those students that might be a little nervous starting back to the school year. But is there anything, Mr. Taylor, you need to add about open house?
No, I just would reiterate, be involved, go to those. And that's your first opportunity to kind of set the tone for the year. It's a good opportunity to have a conversation with that teacher. Just let everybody know who everybody is, and good communications. And when children see parents and teachers are working together and communicating, then things usually are going to be better all the way around. There'll be more growth there for that child. That's what we want.
And I know I popped this back up on screen real quick, the vacation planning, but this is because this is the type of stuff too that is sent out on Parent Square. So you'll get notifications about calendars or date changes, upcoming events, all those things. So, all right. So we're moving on from that. I hear there is a new state law in place that has to do with cell phones. Can you tell us about that?
So that's been a pretty big topic in the last couple of years. It's been an issue. I can tell you, I was on a school campus, like I said, for the majority of my years. And cell phones they're an issue. They're a wonderful tool. They're a great means by which to keep up with someone, make sure everyone's safe and doing the things that they should. But there's a lot of things that come along with that. The responsibility of use is absolutely rests on the shoulders of the child. And, they can be disruptive and problematic. And that's been something that I think has been in lots of interest with respect to our state and representatives from both Senate and the House, and a good bit of concern with social media and how much time is spent and screen time there with that and what kind of impacts that may have on development for kids. So I think there is a little bit of pushback from try to separation there for a little bit than what maybe we have been. But this past year's legislative session, there was Florida Statute 1006.07, and that one specifically addresses cell phone use on school campuses. And as it is written, and our district policies are reflecting this because we're required to make sure we update everything to reflect what new statutes are. But kindergarten through 8th grade, they prohibit use during school day, period. Not at all. They can have them at school, but they are to be off and secured in backpack, purse, whatever it is, but put up for those ages. Because I know you have kids that walk to school, you have kids that have after school activities, and those families would want their children to be able to have access to their phones so that they can communicate with them. Some of them have Live 360 so they can see where their kid is. So it's permissible for them to have them there, but during the school day, they are to be off and in the backpack and stored. Students in 9 through 12, they have limited use, none during instructional time unless it's directed by the teacher. And there are times whenever the teacher may utilize something for Kahoots or some kind of an activity where they use that. But the majority of that should be during instructional time, cell phones off and stored away so that they're not being a distraction during instruction. There are times during the day, before school, break time, lunchtime, after school, that they could still utilize those. Now, there are districts around the state that are piloting a complete following the first set of rules there, like it is for kindergarten through 8th grade. You can have it with you, but don't have it out in use during the day. So I'm assuming that we'll get some feedback on how that goes and materializes throughout the course of the year. And this may or may not make a change to what those state laws are for next year. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But, it's like everything else. A car will go a lot faster than the speed limit. But if you use a car like it's supposed to be used, it's a tool and it can take care of things. Same with the phones. Follow what the rules are. Use them when it's sensible. And I tend to agree. The social media, it's very common. You see people even sitting at a restaurant or around place, they're all looking at screens and not interacting. And in this life, you need to communicate and you need to interact. And those interpersonal skills are no different than doing pull-ups. The more you practice, the better you get at that. So, I understand some of the concerns. So this is what we're looking at for this year. And like I said, we'll see kind of how the data falls out for the year and what interest should there be change for this for next year.
And I know parents, I know you all know this, but just to reiterate again, a different time period. I come from the generation, I'm an elder millennial. So we come from the generation that we got to see life before the internet as well as life after the internet. And so I remember around my 8th or 9th grade years when everything really started picking up with cell phones and things like that, and just the digital age in general. But it's so different now. I know you mentioned the cell phones and instructional time and all this, but thank goodness that we didn't have cell phones when we were in school, where every little embarrassing moment that we had could be captured by friends at school and then shared later on. And so I just think that's really important, that beyond the educational aspect of it, the social aspect of having the cell phones constantly at school, when high school is already awkward enough as it is, middle school, it's just a difficult transition period for students, and that can, just lead to bigger issues. So just be vigilant of those cell phones and talk to your kids about the internet and that sort of thing. Moving on. Now, what are some exciting things that are going to be taking place? Well, actually, I'm going to come back to that. I have some notes here, but I'm going to skip around for just a second. What are some CTE options that students have the opportunity to participate in for this next school year?
So CTE is a vocational certification test that students have the opportunity to take. And we have several different offerings at both Alpha, it's predominantly high school age kids, to where they can earn a certification in a particular discipline, skill, and it's a mark of success for them, but in some instances, it opens doors for employment or can help with increasing pay for some. For example, at Alpha School, we have ag, welding, culinary, technology, and access to CNA. At Bluntstown High School, we have ag, welding, culinary, technology, and then building construction technology and access to CNA as well. So, for example, Serve Safe. That's one of the CTEs that can be earned through culinary. That's a certificate that's earned, and a student can actually, if there are 10 people applying for a job at a food service place, and this child or one of our students is applying that has that Serve Safe certification, that's a qualification that's going to give them a leg up for that. We have kids that actually finish high school with a CNA certification that are eligible to go ahead and go to a healthcare facility and be able to be employed using that. So it's just an opportunity for kids to get a little bit of training that does explore careers, gives them a little bit of an option on some things, and we encourage that greatly in our students. Dr. Williams and myself are the ones that administer these CTEs, and we test a lot of kids over the course of the year. We both enjoy doing it because both of us are school people. It gives us a chance to connect with students and be back on a school campus again. But and I can tell you, it's very rewarding for the student when they've completed a test, because they're not easy tests. That Serve Safe test and some of the ones that some of the other tests as well, they're difficult. And when those kids actually, maybe they've taken it a time or two before they pass, because the pass rate on these is tight. But when you see one actually, when they submit and they see that pass and score, man, sometimes they can't control themselves. They'll scream out, get up, and hands in the air. I mean, they're excited, truly excited. And we are too for them. But anyway, it's just an opportunity for those kids to earn some certifications.
And that's an accomplishment too at that age. Again, most of these things used to be offered well after you graduated high school. So you have people maybe in their early 20s. You have people today that are taking some of these exams and tests much older. So for a student in the Calhoun County School District to be able to do this at their age and then succeed at it is a great accomplishment. You mentioned Serve Safe and some things like that. Like with Serve Safe, that can open the door to management positions in the food industry, not just culinary, working on the line or working, in a restaurant per se, but a lot of management positions in the food industry look for people that have those little extra bonuses of like Serve Safe and different courses and things they can take. So for those that are maybe not going straight into college and want to go into the workforce, these are great opportunities for them to be able to utilize. So
absolutely.
Okay. This is another serious one. We're going to touch on some school safety. Tell us a little bit about school safety plans and concerns or anything you would like to talk about.
So back probably when you were in school, we used to do fire drills. And back when I was in school, we did fire drills and we'd do bus evacuation drills. Mm-hmm. But in this day and time, we do lots of active assailant drills. We do a lot of practicing things with our students to try to help train and prepare should there be the need for such an event to take or those trainings to be implemented. Mm-hmm. We hope and pray we never have any instance in which we have to resort to one of these other than a practice situation, but it's imperative that we practice with those. We've got a whole state of Florida has an office of safe schools that helps monitor these, that create requirements that we have to work towards, and we do that. We're very fortunate at our schools that we've got certified law enforcement as our SROs on our campuses, with that police car or our sheriff deputies' cars that are there at that campus, and that is a deterrent as well. But Some years ago, we retrofitted all of our schools, even the older built facilities, with single points of entry. If you've been to one of our campuses, it's not nearly as accessible as it used to be, and that's not meant to be where it's not warm and unwelcoming, but it's just by the times that it dictates that we promote security in every way possible. So all of our schools have secure vestibules, bulletproof glass doors, everything right there. You can't get in past that front door unless you are buzzed in. Single points of entry. We've got perimeter fencing everywhere. We practice our drills. We've got surveillance cameras. And then our SRO officers, and we're in the process of implementing the Guardian program as well. So we're doing everything proactively to try to hopefully never be in a situation where we need that, but we do practice this with our students on a frequent basis so that should we get in a situation like that, and it's not always someone doing harm, sometimes it is weather related. I mean, I can remember when I was principal at Carr School, we all had to not just practice a tornado drill, we actually had one that was near the campus. And you want it to be muscle memory so that everyone knows what to do and minimizes panic and just helps keep our folks safe, and safety is a priority.
The worst things that can happen is the panic's going to set in. And there's always going to be a little element of panic and fear when anything like that happens. But like you said, to kind of alleviate that, if you can make it second nature and make people comfortable enough with the routine of this is what we're going to need to do. Everybody, the right hand's talking to the left hand. Everybody's just moving, admin, teachers, students, everybody, parents as well. So it's a very important thing that you guys are practicing this, and that, parents, just so you can know, like he went over everything there. Calhoun County schools are safe. And they're doing everything they can to keep your students safe. So go into the school year knowing that they are going to do their best to watch over your students while they're in their care. All right. Now I'm going to jump back up here. So what are some exciting things that are going to be in place for this year that you want to elaborate on?
So if depending on what grade or school or age your child is, there's a lot that goes on at all the school campuses. If you're at a high school, holy cow, there's never a downtime, it seems like, from sporting events to plays to presentations to extracurricular activities, intracurricular activities, all kinds of things that are taking place on our school campuses. And I would encourage whatever's available to you as a student or a family, get involved. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is the show. So it's important, go through, be involved as a student, be involved in the activities that take place on that campus so that it just connects you to it in a even deeper way. And we want our kids, we want the experience to be fun. There's a lot of things that are there for work and preparation and all that, but there's a lot of fun stuff that goes on there as well. So we encourage people to be involved in the activities. A couple of things that I want to highlight here, and this is something that we're offering at our high schools as well, and it's a student tutor program in which we're, in this day and time, employment is an issue. You hear and see everyone struggling trying to find employees. So we have at our high schools, we have a tutoring program that we have high school students that we can hire through DCT that can work with our elementary, kindergarten through second grade students. They actually can get some credit to get a little pay. And also it gives them an opportunity to be involved in something that may be a career path for them. In addition to, it is very beneficial to those younger students having those older kids come in there and work with them. They love that. And it is beneficial for our teachers as well to have someone that can help on a very regular basis, work with those kids and provide some additional supports with them. So I would say that's been something that's been contributory in some of our academic success. And that's something I think that benefits those high schooler age students. We've got some kids that have participated in that have actually gone on to pursue degrees in education. So we're trying to grow our own, but we're trying to do some things that's going to benefit those younger kids and those classrooms as well. Additionally, one other thing that I would like to mention too is this is going to be the first year we're working in conjunction with the state piloting. There's about 15 counties around the state that are going to be piloting this, and it is going to be a college algebra credit course that we're going to be offering at both Bluntstown High School and Alpha School. It's a year-long course that they will be able to participate in. If they can successfully complete that, it will give them some college credit hours, kind of like the dual enrollment, very similar to that. We have some dual enrollment opportunities that are available through online aspects, but we've not had direct access to that on our school campuses. So this is going to be an opportunity that's piloted across the state, and we're one of 15-ish districts that are going to be participating in that. We're excited about that.
Oh, that's good. Awesome. So last but not least here, how can parents, staff, community members support the district's goals for this year?
I would go back to what we talked about at the very beginning. We have volunteer programs at our schools. If someone is interested, and we've had a very good volunteer response over the years. COVID set that back a little bit, but the biggest support that we can have is for families to support their children at home with respect to the educational process that they're involved in. Be involved in your child's education. Ask questions about their day, communicate with their teacher, get a Parent Square account and a Focus account where you can watch those grades and see how that grade book's materializing through the 9 weeks. Yeah, there are no secrets anymore, Jamie. Everything is known. You can't hide it till the end of the 9 weeks now. You can keep up with everything through the whole 9 weeks and semester.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
Be involved in your child's education. Be positive about the fact that they're going to school and what it is that they're learning, and just be engaged in it. And that's the greatest support that they can give to us, and that's to support their child.
And you heard him. There really is no excuse any longer not to be able to be involved or informed, at the very least, be informed of what's going on in the schools between Parent Square, Focus, all the alerts that get sent out about different activities, the grades, information that's released. It is, sorry, students, you can't hide them anymore. You can't hide
no secrets. No more secrets.
I'm sorry. Mama's going to find out when your grades come out this time. But parents, pay attention to that when they do come out, and talk to your kids about it. Talk to the teachers, the admin. Make sure you're staying on top of it, like he said. And everyone else, even if you don't have a student in the school district, support them, support the students. These are the students that are, like he said, are going to graduate and hopefully come back to Calhoun County to live and work. And they're going to be teaching your children one day, or your grandchildren one day. They're going to be serving them down at the local restaurant, or they're going to be taking care of their vehicle at the local automotive place. So whatever it is, we still need to support the students in the school district, even if you're not directly involved. And there's lots of opportunity, as he was saying, throughout the year to do that, whether it be volunteering, attending sporting events, attending different activities and events that the school may host throughout the year, art shows and different things like that. So we're excited about this school year. Now, for those that need further information, or if you have any questions about anything, you can always go to calhounflschools.org. I have it here on the screen, and that will guide you through anything you need to know about the Calhoun County, Florida School District. There's administrator information, information, the Parent Square information, anything you can think of. It'll also direct you to their social medias, which I believe they have Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, correct?
That is correct.
You can find all of this information at calhounflschools.org. So save that. And Mr. Taylor, we thank you so much for being with us tonight and chatting with us. Is there anything else that you would like to let the public know? And in the meantime, those that are watching, does anybody have a question for Mr. Taylor, or anything they would like to share about the school district while he's wrapping us up here?
I would just say, let's in being involved with your child, set goals with them, and share in the successes. Don't set goals that are unattainable. Set goals that are attainable, and then progressively make things a little more difficult. Have expectations, and give them a chance to bite the carrot, and then celebrate that with them. And I really think that goes a long way to help promoting endurance in them and for their success through the year.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here with us, guys. This is going to wrap us up for this episode of CalCo Community Chats. Oh, hold on. I just got an alert. We might have a comment or a question here. Oh, little praise there for Mr. Taylor. Just so happy to have him in office. He truly cares about the kids. He absolutely does. Mr. Taylor's always been very caring for his students, and I was one of his students years ago. So I appreciate you and taking the time to talk to folks and just engage with the community like this and let them know that, you know, you're here for them and that you really do care about those students. And anyway, I thank you so much for taking the time out. This is school starting next week, guys. I don't think you understand how busy he actually is right now, but I'm going to quit babbling and let y'all know that the next episode of CalCo Community Chats is going to be September 15th. We're going to be back 7 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to have Civic September. We're going to talk to all of our civic groups in Calhoun County and go over what each of those roles are in the community and how you can support their efforts and what they have coming up. So tune in September to learn all about all things civic clubs in Calhoun County. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in September.
How about?